That's a tricky question. Well, I feel a little bit on the edge a little bit.
I can't ever really remember a point where I became a Christian because I just always thought of myself as one.
I'm very sure in my faith and I feel very loved by it.
I like to think I've always had a strong faith.
I can't say much at the moment because I'm still questioning, but I can say that I do believe there is someone or something.
I don't have faith myself, but I think it's good that we go to a Church of England school because I think in the Bible there's like a lot of good moral things.
My family, we're Catholic, so we do go to church.
Religion does play a part in my family life because we go to church once a month.
I don't know whether I'm a Christian or not. I don't like to label it. I'm trying to believe in what I believe in.
For me, being a Christian in my school is actually really good because the big diversity of Christians, Muslims and lots of other people.
We have 2 assemblies a week and sometimes those relate to beliefs, but even if you're not Christian or religious, they can still influence you because they're always good points to follow.
RE is one of my favourite lessons. I think it's got a good balance of religious to non-religious topics.
Really interesting to know about each religion and understand everyone's perspective on things.
Well, it's always going to be a bit different being a Christian in everyday life when lots of people aren't, especially in school where lots of people aren't.
Embarrassing for a lot of people to say, but I do have doubts, and it's hard to not have doubts when everybody around you is so secularised, and it's they're quite outwardly against religion.
Most people go to church, live in the area. It's mostly older people.
So in the morning, I go to the Ursham Benefice. It tends to be the older generation of people that go there. Very few young people there and very few people of my age. I think older people bring their experience and new ideas to the situation that possibly I haven't considered. They really want the best for me. And then in the evening, I sometimes go to a light wave service in Bungay. Everyone's just really friendly. If you want a chat, just to socialise at the beginning. There's no pressure on you to sit there for a really long time. It's quite a nice a short service.
I'd come to church and I'd feel like I've got meaning to be here. And the past, I don't know, month, I don't understand the service. I think that's more the reason that I'm just struggling to be with God.
I mean, there's elder people here, like most churches in England, but it's not a specific profile. Whenever I come, I see new people.
As a young person, they give me opportunities, sometimes to light candles or this. Yeah, church is a safe place, it's for me worshipping God.
It's a really friendly and warm environment so that you can go in there new and you feel comfortable with everyone.
Expectations on young people today, especially women, and in things like social media, and so there's lots of pressure to look how society wants you to look. Lots of other things that builds pressure on people to look and behave a certain way. So if you act out differently, you can be judged or kind of almost alienated for things like that.
Sometimes I really struggle with myself on what I want to do in the future.
Well, it's always challenging being an open Christian because there's lots of people who are quite judgmental.
Not feeling able to be confident and self-assured in who you are, because people do judge and they will judge you based on everything, whether that's clothes, your body, or just how you act around other people.
It's quite tricky to focus on God because in our day and age we have mobile phones, we have TV, we have so much that can almost drag us away and almost distract us. It's quite hard coming close to God,
Right now I got GCSEs next month. It's a big pressure for me right now because if I don't do really well in my GCSEs, that's going to affect my future.
Some teenagers, they haven't experienced anything bad. It's just a part of life that you go through, depression or anxiety, and teenagers can't help the fact that they struggle.
Speaking of that, I've got GCSEs in a week. Stress is a really, really, really big thing for people our age.
But if I was going to change something about going to churches, I think I wouldn't say this is a negative thing, but I think there's more of a stigma around churches, which is like you have to be religious to go to them.
I think the church, it does listen a bit to its young people. There's definitely more that could be done because there are a lot of young people that don't feel comfortable with church.
On social media nowadays, often things are explained really quickly with short videos, but sometimes in church, vicars go on longer explanations to get to the main point.
It's more just, I hear the words, they go into my head, but nothing kind of understands what they're meaning. So I don't know whether it's that they're not putting it in a way that I understand.
In the church I go to, it's a lot of older people, so the service is more catered towards them, and the vicar is always thinking about what they would like, rather than what the few younger people.
Well, some churches, not all churches, but some churches do shove faith down people's throats, and it's just going to make people back away even more. So an easier approach we could take is like the big weekend, involve them in fun activities, introduce them to Jesus, talk about God, but do it in a fun and exciting way so that they can interact with what you're saying more.
I think the Church of England could have a role to play with climate change.
When I think about it, I feel like God would not be angry, but just disappointed about what we're doing to the planet.
We are trying to do some stuff to help the environment, but I don't think we're doing enough. As Christians, we are called to preserve, as God called Adam to look after his animals and the creation that he created.
Being seen, I think that was the biggest thing, is that showing that the church isn't this far off thing that you learn about.
Probably churches have to show to the world the importance of Christ in their life.
It's very important that we welcome people with open arms because, from the past history, it has shown that we have not always been kind to people.
Being very outward and open, showing that a youth club is for everybody and not just for Christians, and although it's set up by the church, it's not just for the church.
I'm questioning my faith at the moment because I'm not sure what I believe in, but I know that there is someone or something out there that did create this earth, and that there is something that we should believe in, because faith is one of the most important things to survive on, in my opinion.
Even when you hit the lows and it's really hard, and that you've always got someone to turn to, and that no matter what you do, no matter what you do wrong, all your sins that He's freed you from.
You don't have to be in your 80s to be able to worship God. You can be any age from I don't know, since you're born till you're on your deathbed, really.
I think I do want to go to church more often in my future because I think I want to get more religious. It's a good way to live your life if you know what to do and how to make decisions.
I know that the Lord has always been there for me, and even though when I don't feel worthy of His love or even worthy to call Him Father, I eventually go back to Him.